Downtown Miami condos. This is one of the most talked about markets in South Florida. And the first quarter of 2026 is telling a story that every buyer, seller, and investor in this market needs to hear. Not the glossy version, the real version. The downtown Miami condo market is facing a significant inventory challenge right now. And understanding that challenge is critical whether you are looking to buy, sell, or hold. Before we look at the numbers, let me give you some context on the downtown Miami condo market because the data makes a lot more sense when you understand what's happening at the macro level. Downtown Miami over the last few years has seen a large wave of new condo construction. Tower after tower has been built and delivered. And right now, as we speak, another tower is starting to deliver units. And many of those original buyers and investors and early purchasers are bringing their units back to the market as resale inventory. That resale wave is happening right now as we speak, and it's going to start adding significant inventory pressure on top of what already exists. At the same time, new construction deliveries continue to add fresh supply to the market. The result is a large and growing pool of available condos competing for a buyer pool that has not grown at the same pace. That is the core dynamic driving everything you're about to see in the data. All that being said, let's dive in and take a look at the first quarter numbers on a month by month basis. And we start with the month of January and we'll go across the board. Active listings 602. Any way you look at it, that's a large number of active listings in a single neighborhood. Closed sales only 30 for the quarter. That's why months of supply is high at 20 months, over a year and a half. Days on market is 79, which is good though. Median price per square foot, 548. Median price sold a little bit above $500,000. Now look at February. Active listings are increasing. Let's stop here for a second and we're gonna take a peek at the active listings for the month of March, 819. So January 602, February 712, March 819. Let us explain what is happening here, okay? We noticed that most active listings towards the end of the year are set to expire on December 31st. So come January 1st, you have a lot of active listings that fall off the market and expire. What happens in the next coming days and weeks and months is that as those sellers re-enter the market and relist their condos for sale, you have this ramping up effect of listings from January to February to March. That is not exclusive to downtown Miami. That is a normal function of the real estate market in general. On top of that, in downtown Miami, as we previously mentioned, there is right now a condo tower that is starting to deliver units, and a lot of those apartments are coming back on the market or coming onto the market to add inventory to the resale market. So that's part of what's happening here, but most of it is what we just explained about the listings expiring and then the ramping up effect. This is obviously something we're going to keep our eyes on heading into the second quarter. As this new condo tower that was just delivered, we're going to see how those units coming onto the market for the first time for the resale affect this active listing inventory. We'll continue. So we'll go across the board in February. Listings went up to 712, but look at that. Listings went up and closings went down. That's not a good sign. That's why months of supply increased to 25. That's over 2 years. This is not good either. Days on market increased significantly from 79 to 96. Interestingly enough, median price per square foot and median price sold increased. March, listings increased again, and closed sales just couldn't keep up which is why it drove months of supply to 29 months. Another sign that's not a good sign. Days on market increased again to 105. Surprisingly enough, median price per square foot held at about 617. Median price sold increased to 695, which tells us that higher price listings were being sold in March. Overall, from what we can see here, these numbers do not look good. We're now going to take this data on the first quarter of 2026, put it up here on a graph to compare it to the first quarter of 2025 to see if we can find any trends and put this into context. Here we go. All right, here's the next graph, 2025 and 2026 with the percent change on the bottom. And look at this, active listings right away. Active listings up, closed sales slightly down, bringing months of supply up. Look at the days on market. And this is not a good sign. Days on market was at 58 last year. That's pretty close. That's pretty good. Under 2 months. And now it increased to over 3 months, 96 days. Interestingly enough, median price per square foot increased to 617, while the median price sold slightly decreased to 573. Overall, though, these numbers do not look good. Look at all that red on the bottom. Red indicates not good or negative. And again, I want to be direct about what is coming. As I mentioned, right now as we speak, there are hundreds of new construction condos that are going to be put on the market for resale. That's just going to add more inventory to what we are already seeing. We're really going to keep an eye on this heading into the second quarter, but it's not looking good. It's already an oversupplied market, and we don't see the closed sales keeping up with it at all. I honestly do not see the situation improving in the short term. So let's see what happens heading into the second quarter. If you're a buyer looking for a condo in downtown Miami, honestly, you're in the best position you've been in years. You have plenty of supply, so it may take you a little bit longer to sort through all that inventory, but you definitely will have some negotiating power here. If you're a seller in downtown Miami, you need to understand the reality of the market you're competing in. You're going to have to price your unit not at market, more than likely a little bit below market, just to attract as much attention as possible right from the start. If not, you're just going to get lost in the shuffle with over 800 apartments that you're competing with. It's not a good sign. And now we're going to close with our final graph, which is a snapshot of where the market stands for the first quarter, along with what price range most of this activity is taking place in. Let's take a look at that now. And here is a snapshot of where the market stands for the first quarter. These numbers we just went over, 819 active listings, only 86 closed sales. That's driving months of supply to 29 months, 2.5 years basically. Days on market is at 96. Your median price per square foot and median price sold are there. Now below, we always like to put this up here. People always comment on it and they love it because they like to see where where the activity is taking place in and what's the price range that's really dictating the market. And look at this, out of the 86 closed sales, 62 of them were at $1 million and under. The next price range 1 to 318. So right away, if you want any takeaways, 80 closed sales out of the 86 are at $3 million and under. That's 93% of the market for condos in downtown Miami is basically at $3 million and less. When you go up the different price categories, look at that, 3 to 5, you only had 5 closed sales. And basically at 5 million plus, there was only 1 closed sale. This area of the market does concern me because look at this. From 5 to 10 million, you have 28 actives. 10 to 20, you have 2. And then 20 plus, you have 6. Right there, you have 36 active listings and only 1 closed sale. That's an area of concern, especially heading into the second quarter that we'll keep our eyes on. On that note, we do like to highlight the highest priced closed sale for the quarter. It was a 4-bedroom corner unit on a really high floor, the 52nd floor of the Aston Martin Residences. One of the most anticipated luxury towers in downtown Miami. This 4-bedroom corner unit has over 3,200 square feet under air, which is exceptionally large for a downtown condo where most of the units tend to be smaller. It sold for $6.5 million at almost $2,000 per square foot. And more surprisingly, it sold decorator ready, which means the developer didn't finish it, didn't install any flooring, any closets. It was sold decorator ready for $6.5 million. The Aston Martin Residences, it's the newest direct waterfront tower in downtown Miami. And those corner units are among the most coveted apartments in all of Miami. And that is your complete downtown Miami condo market update for the first quarter of 2026. Overall, the numbers do not look good. As I start my 20th year in Miami real estate, I've seen a lot of different markets. And I can tell you this is not doom and gloom, but this is exactly what happens in a correction as the market is trying to find its new level. You just have to know how to navigate through it, be patient, and make sure to work with a professional that can guide you through this challenging market. If you found this useful, subscribe. Drop your questions in the comments. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.